Yo, I'm going to be doing a quick deck tech here on this Olympia Silver Age deck. I have been really loving Silver Age recently and was super excited. I played this in Commoner, Decimator build. It's a little different, so I'm excited to break it down for you guys and kind of show you what I've been playing with. I've been really enjoying it, and I think it's got a lot of versatility, and it's just fun, and you get a lot of good value. So we're gonna start out here with our equipment suite and the loadout we got. Running two blade beckoners, legs and arms. The blade beckoners are just insane in the Silver Age format, and I think that this got a lot of value because so many heroes run weapons that swing, and they're great for bait points, and they basically block for two, which is just awesome in the limited format like this. Running Garland of Spring for the chess piece, nice resource is always good. And the Prize Gala, which Temper 2 in this again is just great. It has the attack reaction on there. I very rarely use it. I usually focus more on just having the Temper 2 block. I just think it's better to have a one block later on in the game than a gold because we're not really digging for crazy turns like you would be in Constructed with this deck. It's a little different. So, yeah, and then we're running the Decimator Great Axe, which just punishes blocking, basically. In our sideboard for our equipment here, all we have is 3 null runes, boots, gloves, and head. When I run into wizards, we run that and keep the garland for our turn. Everything else just is block value, so we don't need it against wizards. So let's dive into the deck here. It runs 18 reds and 19 blues in the main deck, and then I'm only running 37, and then the last 3 we kind of sideboard in based on the matchup. So I'll start off with our red attack actions here. So we are running Decimator Great Axe, but running purely pumps for the weapon in this format when heroes like Dromai exist and Prism, it doesn't work super well. They build a board state, you can't clear it, and if you have no cards that pop Phantasm, you pretty much just get steamrolled really fast. So I have some poppers kind of that also work just as big swings. Chest Puff, 2 for 7, blocks 3. That's a big one that blocks 3. And you can pay 1 to make it a 3. It's basically a 3 for 7, or a 2 for 6, which a 2 for 6 that blocks 3 that can be a 3 for 7 is fantastic. When you have a Vigor, you can pitch a red and still come in for 6 with it, which is really nice. Crash Down the Gates is another really good one. There's a lot of aggro decks out there that run 4 and less base stuff and a lot of non-attack actions. Decks like Briar and Benji and Zen and all those. And so this can be a pretty much guaranteed 3 for 8 with an on-hit destroy the top of the deck, which is great. A 3 for 8 is just super powerful. 2 card 8 is awesome. We also have for attack actions a Wage Vigor here. Olympia likes to wage. It's also a warrior attack, which can trigger some things that we have in the deck as well. And we wage the vigor. We're not looking to go again, so waging agility isn't super important to us. This is much more of a single swing deck and value-based swings. So we have those. We also have a Bastion, Blue Bastion for prevention blocking. It's good blue. We got Down But Not Out, which is a 3 cost, 3 power, 3 block. 3 block's really more important here. But late game, sometimes you can get like really lucky on your timing of equipment and tokens and health, and this just triggers, and it's a 3 for 6 with overpower, which could just close a game out sometimes, especially if you can hold on a blue with it. So yeah, run that guy. We run Rally the Rearguard as well in a blue. It's discard block. It gives an extra +3. I've been considering swapping this out for Rally the Coast Guard, which is the 3 for 5. It does the same exact thing, but with me sometimes having more red hands, I think the 2 power can be a little nicer if you can, use your chess piece one time if you really need to. But usually this is going to get pitched into the weapon anyway, or used to block with. So the block value is the same for either of them. I just like Rally the Rearguard personally. So, but Coast Guard is also perfect in this slot. And then we run Sirens of Safe Harbor. This synergizes with Rally the Rearguard because you can discard it to gain the health and still get the pump for the block. So it'll block 5, gain a health, which gives you 6 value, which is nice. Also, decks running things like Pummel, they just discard it. You just gain the health from it, which is some sort of value. And so, yeah, it's also just good blue. So we're running blue Sirens. No attack actions in the sideboard here, so that is it for that in attack actions. Up next, we'll look into some of our other kinds of cards. Mostly our actions are pump for our weapon. So we run Felling Swing, which is a 3 for 6 pump for the axe. So 2 blues, and this is an axe swing for 10, which is phenomenal. Usually they need to block their whole hand to clear it out, or they don't respect it, and you just take a big chunk of their health. We also run Plow Through, which is a 1 cost. Usually you can use this with the chest piece to gain the free resource there, or if you have a Vigor, or as extra blues. Blocks 3, gives you a +3 to the weapon swing, and then if it's defended by an attack action, it gets +1. So many decks in Silver Age are running attack actions. So this is almost always a guaranteed 1 for 4 pump, which is just really nice. And it blocks 3, which is super sick. Sharpened Steel, it's a free +3 to weapon attack, pretty standard. And then we have some blue ones as well for when we get that second cycle, third cycle, and we're just left with blues. If we can keep a hand somehow. Draw Swords allows us to just draw another blue, usually late in that game, give you a +1. And this also says next warrior attack, so it's not just the weapon. You can use that with things like Wage Vigor. So sometimes you can get cool little synergies like that. We also run Goblet, Blood Run Wine, make a Vigor and Agility. The Agility is not as important, but the Vigor is definitely super useful. And it's also, if you draw extra blues and have extra cards in your hand, this just gives you something to do with it. So, and then, yeah, that's it for actions that we have in the deck. Reactions, we're running Cut the Deck. This triggers on warrior attacks, so you can do it on the weapon as well as the Wage Vigor. I've considered running Wage Agility just because that synergizes with it, but I think Crash on the Gates and Chest Pop are just really, really good. If I was to take out another card, I could maybe we pull out On the Horizon or Plow Through, and we put in another attack action, and so that would work with that. But I think you just can pitch it early if you need to and save it for later, or just if you get it on the weapon, you get it on the weapon. We also run Overpower as a reaction. Great extra blue cards. Just a pretty classic attack reaction. Fatal Engagement, again, 2 cost +3 in a blue, which blocks 3. Again, most decks have attack actions these days, so this pretty much always triggers, and if it doesn't, you can arsenal it, and it will eventually work. So yeah. Lastly, we have our defense reactions and instants, things that are going to help us gain some value and cover up stuff that we can arsenal. So, and as well as the blocks. We're on the Horizon. Great block card, blocks 4. Look at the top card of your deck. We run Steelblade Shunt, which is an awesome addition for this format because in Commoner you couldn't run it. It's a rare. But there's a lot of weapons that swing for a decent amount in this format. So this can just win you the game on their turn. It also covers up 6, which, like, Dominate, Overpower, that's really nice to have. We also have Unmovables in blue. They block 6 from Arsenal or 5 from the hand, which is really nice. We have a single red one for the big matchups, running to like Guardian and Brute and stuff like that. I think red unmovable is really good, as well as Assassin. Sometimes if you go really tall in one attack, you can pop that in there. We run yellow Steel Blades when we're playing against Warrior and Guardian because they a lot of times will swing Anothos or Titan's Fist or whatever other brute weapon they're going to throw. And this covers it up pretty cleanly and can deal damage again. It's just 4 more instances of possibly killing them on their turn or just dealing a damage. We have Slap Happy, which is really good for the small pinging decks, a lot of the aggro decks. Prevents 2, which can cover up some breakpoints. And you make a Vigor token, which is nice. So you can pair that to use that Vigor to pay for stuff like Plow Through or Cut the Deck or whatever. If you have weird resource numbers, you need a Chest Puff, you only have a red or something like that. So that's really nice. And then we have Classic Oasis Respite and Arcane Polarity, which is the new one from Rosetta, which is really super cool in this because Runeblades stealing Arcane from Rune Chants and such, you can use, take 1 Rune Chant, gain 4 health. It's like a really nice swing of health, especially when they're kind of banking on you losing health because you're not ABing as much sometimes. It's also really good into Wizards, so Kano and Icelander and technically Acilio, Verdance, any of them. This just helps negate a lot of that arcane damage that they're coming in for 5-6 arcane. This can really do a lot for you. So yeah, that's the deck. It's been performing pretty well. I've been really enjoying the cycles of it. It's super flexible and there's a lot of decisions you can make in it, and it just blocks really well. It deals decent damage, and it feels pretty good. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Try it out if you like it. We're gonna get some gameplay in with it. All right, so we're gonna be going into a Kano here with some Silver Age gameplay. We're on an Olympia Dory, or Olympia Decimator. And yeah, see how it goes. It's coming with a snapback. So we're gonna pitch 3 here, right off the rip. Just clear it up. We got AB3 with the Garland, and then we'll do another 3 with that. Just cover all that up. He's him going first. We don't mind pitching our whole hand away. We're gonna draw up anyway. And I guess we'll just kind of split up some of the reds and blues so they're not stacked on top of each other. Okay, so this is pretty much guaranteed 3 for 8, which is pretty good right now. So I'm going to just overpitch like that. We have the Oasis chilling here in case he tries to swing anything back, but yeah. Does show him on the top of card of his deck, which like makes his Kanoing kind of easier because he knows what's going to be on top. But I don't really mind. I'd rather threaten 8 damage. Just force him. Holding resource over the top in the Oasis is pretty good. So just gonna go with that. Try to take some cards, deal some damage, and then we'll probably just arsenal this Oasis and then use it. Or if we draw extra blues, then maybe we can just pitch and not even worry about it. And try and hold this for later when he tries to kill us on our turn. So, yeah, no reactions from that. We'll destroy the top card of the deck. Which I think that's a blue on top for him. Which probably didn't want anyway, so just going to pass. Now arsenal that Oasis and draw some blues. Yeah, 3 blues and a prevent here. Pretty nice. Okay, so he's going for a pretty tall swing here, using the amp and the crucible. So we're probably going to use Slap Happy for sure here. He's coming in for 5, right? So we're definitely going to just AB3. Oh, and the snapback. Okay, so we're going to use the Slap Happy here. We'll cover up 2 of the snapback. So we'll AB 2 of it for the rest. And then this is going to be coming in for 3. I think we're going to... Oh, it comes in for 4. How that... It's odd that it pumped the... Not sure how that mathed out. Or I went 4 and 4 instead of... I would have thought that the 2 would have pumped the first one, but maybe it's just a timing thing. Anyway, we're gonna AB 3 of that, I think. I think we'll probably just AB the 1 here. It's okay to take a little damage. Giving him most of our hand and not holding anything kind of blows. You don't want to give up your whole hand. We want to hold some cards to make sure that we're not gonna lose too much health when he swings. If he tries to do something on our turn. So holding the blue, he waits here, I think is totally fine. Because he might give us a bunch of cards here. And then in his turn, he's not going to do anything, so. And yeah, it looks like he's going to go for a little bit of something here. He definitely, yeah, mistimed that. The Crucible, yeah. Let the Crucible go and then swing the Floodgates. And we're going to AB2 here. I don't need that extra card anyway in hand, so it's fine. And then we're just going to pass. He's got no cards in his hand, so he's going to pass his whole turn, which is really good for us. So it's going to let us have a whole hand. Maybe we can do pretty good swing. Got a nice reaction here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just swing the Decimator and then use the resource for the cut the deck here, and hold on to the polarity in case he tries to swing something at us this turn. Because I think odds are pretty high he may go for something. If I pitch a red here, he's probably going to anticipate that I'm low on resources. So he may try and do a Kano here, but we have the polarity to gain back if we do some damage, which we might let him do just so we can get this out of the hand and do some damage. That's a pretty good card, actually, too. So the other option here we have is Oasis. We could, because that would stop him from getting the opt, which might be better. Because this is going to come in for 5. So we'll get to filter the next 5 cards in his hand. I think honestly, I think it's still okay for us to, this might be a misplay, but I think it's okay for us to take the 5 here, polarity, gain the 4, go back up to 16, and hold the Oasis for a later turn, because we're going to probably need that if he tries to kill us next turn. So we're just going to say that we're going to take the damage here. We're going to take all 5. Let him do his opting thing. Might find like a 0 power cost something. I'm going to polarity here. We'll gain 4, back to 16, and then go 5 over the top, which is great. So it puts him to 5. We're still sitting clean at 16 with an Oasis and Arsenal, so feeling pretty decent here. Especially because he has only 1 card in hand, so he's just going to swing an Aether Bloom. So we can actually polarity again here and just gain health. Just kind of crazy. But we don't really need all these cards. So I think I'm just going to pay 3 here. And if I'm being smart here, I'm going to Garland just to make sure I can pay for the Oasis on the off chance he tries to kill us here. If he doesn't, it's not the end of the world. But I think he's going to think he has to here, or feels like he has to. At least to try and do something. That Scouting Rain's nice, so he's going to Kano twice. See what else he hits here. And a nice Photon Splicing. Pretty solid, actually. It's 2 instances of 8, so was he going for a 3rd? Wow. So I mean, like, he now has to pitch into it. I mean, at this point, he's just going to die because he's going to take 7 and die. Because we're going to Oasis that Scalding Rain. And we'll just AB 0 of it, take nothing. Crucible goes off, which is fine. Photon will hit us for 5. We'll say 0. We'll instant Arcane Polarity. We'll just gain 4 back again, go back to 15, and then he's out of blocking cards. So that's gonna be game for that one, I think. Just nicely timed stuff. So yeah, GG's on that one. I'll jump into another one here. All right, we are running again. Silver Age Olympia Decimating Great Axe against Valda. So we're going first here. I think we're just gonna try and deal as much damage as we can. Kind of nice Felling Swing here, so I think we're gonna get some value out of that. We're just gonna pitch that and then go Great Axe for just 10 here. Just try and pull some cards. Going for the fatigue game can be nice. The little Arsenal was nice crash down the gates, so we'll just half that. Sounds good. Now we are 3 cards ahead in the fatigue game, right? Which, not really fatigue, but sounds good to me. Yeah. Let's start with 21, which is kind of sick. No Thos build. All right. Debilitate coming in here. So not a crazy on hit, just halves our next attack. I think we're gonna go for a block here. Oh, it's interesting. They're running active glory here, so they're running some interesting suspense instance here. Which makes sense. I mean, but yeah, cool. So I think we're gonna block with the rally here, doing the effect to discard and block 3, so we'll only take 3 here, which is nice. I think we're gonna discard this Wage Vigor here, give it +3. So yeah, taking 3, going to 17, no biggie. We're gonna go for a crash down the gates here and hope we just hit the top. We do not. Just got a buckling blow on top, so it's just 6. It's kind of risky going into Valda, running a lot of big attacks, but sometimes you get lucky and they have, you know, something else. One of these boys on there. But it's nice because we'll be able to arsenal this Oasis, so nice little setup. And I may have to take some damage here. So we'll see what they do. I run Civic Peak, Battle 1 Warn to make surges, Battle 1 paying 3 get +2, pretty good. That's it accepts, so pretty basic loadout for a Guardian, right? We pulled 2 cards out of their hand, which is kind of nice. Just gonna arsenal that Oasis. Oh, and they put it underneath the thing, which is a little annoying. But we drew a Sirens here. And it's only coming in for 4, which is pretty cool. Because we have an honestly pretty decent hand here with this Plow Through and the Overpower. So part of me is thinking about giving them some equipment to do a nice 5-card hand here. Because, I mean, we could go Garland into the Plow Through, swing in the Decimator, Overpower, the Felling Swing. So you pay for that, pay for the weapon, use it to pay for that, and then we have a floating card here we can't pay for. So really, we could just use Garland to block with a card. Then we could block with a card, use a Garland, Plow Through, Decimator. Yeah, so I think we're gonna block 3 here. I have a fun hand. Because this is most likely going to trigger, so it's going to give us a +4 for sure. I mean, the odds that he doesn't have an attack action if he blocks with pretty low. So we're gonna gamble here and just try and do a big old swing. There's really no on hits with this deck, unfortunately. Especially when swinging the Great Axe, it's just damage. But we're just gonna try and just deal as much damage as we can just to try and take some tempo here, I think. When we get to our power cards, which this is one of them for sure. And then we're going to go... Question is, too, the Overpower is nice, but honestly, it might just be good just to play the Felling Swing out to get the +4. It's guaranteed +4. This is only if they block with from hand. They get the +4, so I think we're just going to go with the Felling early. Instead, it's face up, so like it's not like a question. Do we have a reaction? But in the odds they don't block and they just give us, they just eat the damage. We lose out of value, I think, by trying to hold on to the Overpower. Whereas we can just swing this for 11, which is pretty solid. Goes up to 12 because he wants to attack actions, which is nice. Has 3 Seismic Surges, so he's probably going to swing something for one of the 3 for 7s or something back here. I'll have that. That's fine. So, yeah. Did 5 over the top. Pretty good. Awkward full red hand here. So we're going to have to just play out, I think, the Steel Blade Shunt. And then, unfortunately, I think we're going to have to pass here. Other option we have is we could block with a card. block with like Prize Gala, and then play the chest puff for 6. Not sure which one I really want to do. I think preserving health is better. The problem is you just don't swing back, and that can feel really awkward. They don't have a lot of stuff to like punish us from that, but they could play out like one of their auras or something. So I think I'm gonna just block. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna like block 5. Like that will take 2, and then we'll just swing the chest puff back. Because last turn we used up the chest piece, so I'm not going to play the 1s. We're just going to do a 2 for 6 here, some reds, put some reds at the bottom. Steelblade Chunk goes at the bottom. It's not awful. I think it's good to have mid-late game. You could second cycle, we get back to it. It'll be a nice card to have to block there. And another crash down the gate. So hopefully he's down to his blues more by then as well. So maybe the odds of that tracking are a little better. He's blocking with the Civic Step, so he might give us a quicken. Maybe, maybe not. If he does, could use that next turn. We'll see. Alright, looks like he's going to give us 2 from hand and not touch the equipment. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, if you guys have any content you want to see from me, any different types of gameplay, feel free to drop a comment. Let me know. Leave a like. Yeah, I'm super interested in the new Silver Age format. Been really diving in, building decks and everything from it. So if you have any suggestions or things you want to see or have any questions, definitely feel free to drop them. And I'll see if we can make some stuff personalized to some of y'all. Considering the drop here from the Civic Peak. Okay, so we're going to draw a card here, which is kind of cool. So we're going to get an Arsenal, which is nice. And he's coming in for 8. So we get the Steel Blade again, and this time we actually have cards we can play. So I think we pay for the Steel Blade here, and then we can swing Decimator and yeah, we swing Decimator and we have the reaction this time. Do some little damage over the top. So I'm gonna pass. I don't think he has reactions. I can't imagine he has reactions in this game, but unfortunately, the Cut the Deck does give him a Seismic Surge because we draw a card, but it's not like the end of the world. Just gonna pitch this Wage Figure. It is 3 reds to the bottom, not the best, but that's okay. We honestly probably should have pitched a blue there to try and to stack that a little bit better so that we had a blue in between those reds, but we're gonna have 3 reds in a row. But hopefully the Sirens just gets down there at the same time. And it just times out okay. We'll see. It'll depend on how quickly we get down there and what the hands look like. But we got the red Steel Blade down there with it. So yeah, it just gives him a Seismic, which is like kind of unfortunate, but oh well. Puts him to 11, so up on health. You have a bigger hand here. I'm gonna take a wild guess here and say he probably has a pummel, right? They took a good amount of damage, not using equipment either, to just swing an attack with a card in hand, card in arsenal, right? So there's most likely a pummel here. Which tells me that I'm probably going to have to just block. Just overblock it. Let him hit the pummel. If I play around pummel all game, I just straight up lose. Because then I can't, there's nothing I can do about it. I don't have the D-React at the moment, so we're just going to discard that. Is what it is. I'm just going to pass, give it back to them. And keep playing. I don't think you can play around pummel all game. If it's in the arsenal, it's in the arsenal, then you just eventually die, right? Okay, so a little weird hand. I mean, he could have the second pummel. Odds are kind of low, but he could. I'm going to block 7 here, though, because we have the cards to do. It'll blue on top. Cool. He does not have the second. Okay, so he's probably got another attack action. He's just going to Arsenal here. So we're going to Sharpen Steel, swing back for 7. So we're not in terrible place. We still have both of our Blade Beckoners and another block on the Gala left. So I'm feeling pretty good about where we're sitting with our equipment right now. Does have a good amount of equipment on his end, but he's only blocked for 1. Whereas I can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of this, and get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's up a little, like a tiny bit value wise. But we can just keep taking 1 to 2 cards from him at a time, pushing a little damage. He could run out of cards before we do, and then they're left with only so many good attacks, right? So we're just gonna have that. Don't really matters the order. They're gonna reveal a Boulder Drop. 1 over the top. I think it's funny that they have like the promo here that's like really dark. The image, but yeah, I figured as much. We'd see the Boulder Drop. We don't know. Maybe on the horizon here, see the top card is we have an Oasis, which we actually can gain the health here from the Oasis, which is kind of sick. So I think we're gonna block. So I don't want to overblock because I hate losing value on that. But we could just Oasis pitching that, gain the life. Could full block here with everything and we'd be 7 even, then we'd be able to Arsenal the Overpower, which could be nice. Or we just block here, use the Oasis, and then gain the health. Overblocks it, but we go up to 10, and then we just swing the Decimator, and we don't get an Arsenal. So it's like, do we want to use our equipment here to get an Arsenal set up? Don't think it's super important. They have an attack action in here, so like, they're just going to block with a couple cards and then hold a blue or something and swing it, probably. So I think it's okay for us to honestly block 7 here, and then Decimator, and then Arsenal the Oasis. I think they do have more instability, which would be really annoying if he draws that. But if we put that in here anyway, doing this whole other thing, I think that's just better. So let's see what our top card is. It's rare. It's a blue, so that's cool. So yeah, I like the clean block here. We're gonna have less health most likely for a while. I don't see that changing. So I think we're okay to clean block that. Just stay less. Swing the Decimator. Put the Unremovable on the bottom of the deck. Arsenal the Oasis. I hope he doesn't have an instability. If he does, it wouldn't have mattered if we put this on the bottom then, in the Arsenal, because he's gonna just use that. He's got the 4 block. It's gonna half it though, which is nice. Okay, so this is actually sick to see because we're gonna Arsenal this anyway, so that's just gonna be able to be used. But now we do have more health, so don't get the life gain. Is what it is, unfortunately, if that's the way it has to go. We'll see if he swings the disable. If he does, then we'll probably just use it. But he does not. He's just a buckling blow. Pitching. Oh, we can't even pay for that. So he's got a full hand of reds, which makes sense. Okay. So that's unfortunate. He's getting lower on cards for sure here. So I think if we might be able to do a nice felling swing push here and deal some like really decent damage. He's going for 7. We could probably Oasis here, pitching the plow through, and then we can come in for 10. I'll probably block with some equipment, so that we can get some value out of Anothos later. We unfortunately don't get the life gain, but it's a disable he's putting on the bottom of on the Arsenal. We know that because he did that last time. So we're gonna take 1 here, I think, because pitching. So this means we're back in a second cycle now because he pitched this early. I think, or maybe no. I'm thinking of the Steel Blade Chunk. Just kidding. But 10 here is really nice because it's going to probably demand some cards. And we're up. He's down to 11 in deck. So hopefully that is going to help us just kind of continue pushing damage. I think they still have one Active Glory they could put out. That's all their 4 blocks are gone, though. They're just going to give us their whole hand, which is honestly about as good as it gets for us, because there goes the instability as well. That's like a best case scenario, in my opinion. We have a ton of threats left in the deck. So them just doing that is awesome for us. So we have a couple options here. This works on anything, but I think arsenaling this unmovable is huge. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to play the Goblet and then probably swing the Bastion just so we don't IP ourselves. Because I don't think there's a way, unless I just swing the Decimator and then fire that. Hopefully they block with an attack action. That's kind of a gamble, so we have to hope they block with an attack action, which they may not. They could just block 2, 3, 4, that, and then this is useless. So I think we're going to play the Goblet, and then we'll just play the Bastion for 5. We'll arsenal the big unmovable, and hopefully cover up whatever they swing at us, right? We're double cards in their deck right now, so I'm feeling decently comfortable having this in the arsenal. Knowing that 2 of their instabilities are gone as well is great. Okay. So he's going to take 1 here. Just going to arsenal that. Hope I blow. Okay, cool. Like, I just need to draw blue. If I draw blue, we're good. I'm going to guess that he has the other pummel in hand here because, yeah, he's definitely got the pummel in hand. So he's got Dominate. We're going to think about this block a little bit. So this is going to block 8, and then this is going to cover up 4. So we're going to have 1 over the top. So I think if we block with that, this will make 9, and this will cover up the pummel, and then we'll be able to decimate her back still, hopefully. He didn't even have it, though. Whoa. Okay. Didn't even have the pummel. I was anticipating him to have it. He's going to heave here. Oh, he is. So that's going to be dominated as well. So I think we want to do this. Okay. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the ability. But if it hits, it still destroys the top card of their deck, which is great. And I think this is going to have dominate. I'm guessing he's going to have the pummel on now. It did destroy the top card of the deck, which is cool. We had go again, but I can't afford to pay for it. So I'm just going to arsenal. Okay, we drew a blue. That's great. We needed to draw blue. It didn't have... Oh, because it doesn't have crush. So it doesn't have dominate. It's got 4, 5, 6, 7 cards left in deck. And one of them is definitely a pummel. Oh no, I'm so blind. Both pummels are already in the graveyard, so he doesn't have pummel left. So we don't have to play around that. So I think we probably just Steelblade Shunt here. Pitching, what do we want to get rid of here? Probably pitch that, that's fine. It's like 2, 6. But he's in a position now where he's going to have to start blocking, like, decent amounts of damage. And we can just do this. So 7, I don't really want to wage a Vigor, because that'll mean he can hold, like, 2 reds or something to do it. I don't think we need to wager this late in the game, in my opinion. Hold on. There we go. Love when she gets blocked up. I think just swinging 7 here is just fine. And looks like, yeah, he just forfeit. Yeah, it's a pretty good game. I think we just outvalued over the long run and just held cards in arsenal when needed to. So overall, super solid game. thank you so much for sticking around and watching that gameplay. It's been a blast deck tech in these Silver Age decks and learning the ins and outs of these new heroes. And the new synergies that we can make with these cards. It's super cool, super innovative, and very budget friendly, which is awesome for the competitive scene of Flesh and Blood. I'm pretty new to content creation as well, so thank you again for just taking the time to watch this video. If you have any heroes or formats you want me to dive into, or any thoughts at all, just drop a comment, let me know, and I'd be down to check it out and make some videos about it. So thank you again for checking out the Floating Dojo and my Fab content. Peace, and I'll see you next time.